Oh, finally waking up, are we? Good. The ritual requires you to be awake. I've been waiting an awful long time for you to wake up. I was beginning to think I might have hit your head too hard and accidentally killed you. That would have been a shame. My, that's a lot of questions for somebody who's bound to a table in the middle of nowhere. Who are you? Where am I? Oh, please, could you be more predictable? Let's see. You're one of the cooks from the Reid Manor, aren't you? Not that your post particularly matters anymore. You're merely a stepping stone for me. I suppose you have a right to know what you're about to die to give me. Yes, that's right. You are going to die. Please stop with all this screaming and struggling. It won't get you anywhere. If you're quite done with that squirming, I was going to tell you the story of how we came to be here. It begins about 10 years ago, 1863. My father, who was a good friend of your masters, the Reids, had recently died. He'd left all the estates and money to my older brother, who simply gambled it all away. We were left in deepest poverty. But our family's good friends, the Reids, did nothing. They did not aid us, they merely forgot we existed. After a few years of poverty, I managed to get a job in the Reid Manor as a butler. A few months after I was hired, Malcolm Reid, the father of your current master and my dear father's close friend, died in an unfortunate accident. Of course I killed him, you simpleton. I spent the days following Malcolm's death, going through rooms he had forbidden me to enter, things he had forbidden me to read. And oh, you won't believe what I found. The first thing I found was a journal detailing a world hidden away in the shadows, a world of magic and monsters. I didn't quite believe it at first myself, but as I continued to go through hidden rooms in the mansion, and seeing wondrous things, plants that should not exist, items of great power, I eventually became convinced. The end of the journal detailed a battle that took place the night my father died, against a vampire lord. Turns out my father did not die of disease or natural causes, but was killed. This is what Malcolm Reid and my father did, you see. They hunted vampires. Oh, believe me, it sounded just as fantastical to me as it does to you now. But you'll believe it in a moment. Amongst all the curiosities I found, there was one that related to this battle. A journal written by the vampire lord that killed my father. It was written in a language that at the time I didn't recognize. Luckily, it had been partially translated by Malcolm. It detailed many things about vampires, strengths, weaknesses, some of which that Malcolm had annotated he wasn't aware existed. The most interesting piece of this journal, however, detailed a ritual that created the original vampires. You see, you can't be born a vampire, you have to be turned. So apparently a massive question amongst vampire hunters is, where did the original vampires come from? This journal detailed that the vampire they killed was one of the original vampires. The journal said that the original vampires were a group of powerful mages who sought immortality. They were given an old ritual by a woman only known as the Duchess, and they believed that it would give them what they seek. However, they did not know that the ritual they were given was a trick. They were cursed to become blood-sucking creatures of the night. These mages then formed the basis of what would become known as the Vampire Council, and they would go to such depths to keep this ritual hidden, to prevent others from being tricked or from abusing this power. This journal, at least according to the vampire who wrote it, is the last surviving evidence of the ritual. I spent the next few years gathering everything I needed for the ritual. Surprisingly, the more mundane components, such as the gold, which was needed to be of a certain purity, were actually harder to find than the more magical components. You see, Malcolm had left a list of contacts behind who could get me such things, and so here we are today. I am not a magic user myself, and I cannot draw power from my environment like a true magic user can. But souls can be used as a magical energy. I can't go destroying my own soul when I'm the subject of the ritual. So this is where you come in. You're the power source. The final component. Everything is ready. All I need to do is stab this through your heart, and the ritual is complete. I will become a vampire. As you die, you will be the last person to have ever seen me as a human. It is done. It is done. I figured the transformation would be a lot slower. The fangs have already grown in. This is euphoric. I'm so hungry. Though my old name isn't suitable for someone of this power, I shall need a new moniker. I do believe I shall take the name of the vampire who set me on this journey, the author of the journal, Lord Elvarius.